What's happening, Reds? It's Jamie Webster here. Just wanted to say, subscribe below. Thank you very much.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Liverpool Connection podcast. I am your host, Dazza. This is part of our pub chat preview show. Obviously not in the pub, not feeling that great today. So in the house, in the men's den, as they say, with all my trainees and all my Liverpool stuff. But we are going to be talking about the Champions League, our first Champions League match of the season, which is next Wednesday, September 7th, away to Napoli. And I've got a special guest today. They're going to introduce themselves because I'm really happy we've got our guest on because, again, I know about Liverpool. I have no idea about Napoli, even though it seems like we play them every single season in the Champions League. But tell us about yourself.
Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Benedetta. I'm the head of media of OLSC Italy, which is the official Liverpool supporters club of my country. And I'm responsible for, all the output of the visuals, podcasts, live streams, graphics of all sorts. And yeah, that's what I do for OLSC Italy. But first and foremost, I'm a Liverpool supporter. And thank you for having me, Dad, on this podcast. And yeah, I guess my difference here is that I was born and bred in Napoli, my hometown. I'm not very fond of Napoli, I have to say. But I don't have a great connection with my city for multiple reasons, which are not to be discussed here. But I don't know a great deal about the team because I've supported Liverpool my whole life. So, but I know a thing so too. And yeah, as you said, it really seems like we play them every single season. So, it's weird, isn't it?
It is, but as long as we keep beating them, I'm okay if we play them every season. Yeah, but it's a tough group we've been given again. Ajax and Rangers away are no easy task. When you're in the Champions League, you want to play the best, and if you want to get to the final, you have to beat the best team. So it's a tough group for us, but I have every faith in this team that will at least get through. With the addition, I'm sure you're watching the transfers as well as everyone else today. I can't wait till it's finished because I'm tired of it. I'd either get someone in, or if we don't get someone in, it doesn't really bother me. Just get on. I want to watch football. That's what I love. I don't love transfers. I just don't. They get on my nerves. But I believe in Klopp. If Klopp's bringing, Mello in, then he'll do a job. But back to Napoli. The Italian league has only been 2 or 3 matches already.
Yeah, it started the week after the Premier League, so I think already 4 matches.
Mm-hmm. And how are Napoli doing?
The expectations as a group of supporters, the Napoli supporters, are a special bunch because they always have really, really high expectations of their team, even when they are aware they're not that great. But it's been, very average so far. They actually drew away at Fiorentina, I think 2 days ago, a 0-0 draw. So they haven't been at their best, but they've been really rejuvenated, I guess, by the summer transfers. There's been an incoming of a lad coming from Georgia, whose name I don't even want to attempt to pronounce. But it's been great for them so far. They lost one of their best players in Mertens, which was an emotional, departure because he meant so much to the city. but it was, football side, and it was a great loss for them. And yeah, this new Georgian guy came in along with a couple of new incomings. I think they got a Korean defender in, and I mean mm, it hasn't been bad, but it hasn't been really great so far. So going to the game against us next week. I don't know who they play this weekend, but I think it's always a different game in general because Champions League is um, really, really matters to Napoli supporters. This is something that like I've split all my life, but I've been around Napoli supporters all my life as well. So I know the Champions League matters a lot to them because, I think Champions League matters to everyone because it's the highest level of football there is. But it really matters to them because they really want to do great against great teams. And I mean, historically, they have been great against great teams. I remember Chelsea, in that decade or so, they also did some bits Bernabeu against Real Madrid a few years back, and against us. I mean, we never scored at the stadium, so they always been a really tough matchup for us. And it'd be a great game regardless of their form in the league, I guess.
So, who is their main threat?
Well, I think Osimhen, which is the Nigerian striker, they bought I think 2 years ago now. He's been really great for them. He's a great striker, very tall, very physical, and great headers. So I think that matchup with Virgil, I guess, will be one to watch because he is their main threat. And and I think that's where the game plan revolves around actually because they do not have that many great players around them. They have some good players. They also have Lozano, which is the Mexican winger that played in the PSV, I think, a few years back. But yeah, the main I think game plan will be to give the ball to Seaman and like uh, take advantage of his threat in the air, which will be I think the main thing Liverpool will have to focus on because there will be a lot of long balls and crosses and corners will be difficult. But I think the main threat, apart from this player, will be the home ground advantage because the former San Paulo Stadium, which is now named again after Maradona, is a great stadium. They're a great bunch of supporters, and it's really, really tough to play there. And the whole atmosphere will be, I mean, it's a passionate group of supporters, which they're really similar in the way we support Liverpool. We're really like this, really that strong bond with the team and the city and the players. I think the 12th man is actually what we have to focus. I don't want to say to focus on, but something to consider because, as I said, we never scored there, and we actually never played that great either. Our results against Napoli always came at Anfield, so I think considering the way we've been playing so far in the league, apart from the great win last night and the 9-0 win against Bournemouth, I think we can't go there for our first Champions League game the way we played some of the games this season because it's the Champions League. We have to be up for it, and I mean, a draw is possible. We can take a draw, but we have to go there and to win because that's the Liverpool mentality. You play every match because you want to win. So I think the key thing will be our attitude against their pressure because it's a really really tough place to play at.
Yeah, it's always like, I mean, in my book, it's like you've got to win all your home games in the Champions League. That's first. And then out of the rest of the games, you've got to get at least one result right. So I'm hoping it's the Napoli game. They are tough, like you said. We never scored there, which is bizarre, because every time we seem to go to Italy against the Milan teams, Roma teams, we seem to score, at least two. But it's another tough one because we haven't started the season off very well. Our back line looks very suspect, especially because of the high line we do. And you don't have to be a rocket scientist to see what's going on with the other teams. They're favouring the right side when Trent pushes up. We've got that massive space in between, and they're just lobbing balls over our defenders. So it's something that we definitely have to look out for, because Napoli are a very good team.
Yeah, they like historically have always been great teams. I mean, at least when playing the Champions League, they've never been like particularly weak. They always had good players, players that can show up and play a game. And as you said, we play with this high line. I mean, and also yesterday against Newcastle, we concede some goals that are, if you look at them and focus on what went wrong, they're actually really like dumb, I guess, it's the right term, because it's something we never used to do. A few years back when we won the league and we also won the Champions League. It's some of those goals, but you have to focus for a second, and actually you can prevent that goal from happening. As you said, we haven't started, in the best way, and some of our players, even our best players, are a little bit behind, fitness wise. We come from a season with 63 games. Some of our players even playing even more games because of national team commitments, deep in June and July. And this is obviously affected our form. So you don't want to, hide behind excuses. You have to show up and play a game and be focused, because they're no easy rival. They're no easy team. And by now we should know that, considering we play them so often.
Well, that's what I like about Italian teams. They're very good defensively. They put up this defensive wall. I mean, it's always been like that. Even in World Cup, they're just very good at, like, they bring their pace down to their style. While English football is a bit more like faster, the Italians like to bring it down a bit slower and be like. So I mean, I am worried because we've not started the season very well. We did come away with 3 points. We kind of robbed Newcastle of 3 points, but in the end, I think we deserve it, because I've never seen so many people go down with cramp in my life. And I've got the running joke where I hope the bus that was taking them back to Newcastle, hope it broke down with cramp. They did the dirty arts to a T, and it backfired on them. But I have every faith that this team. I mean, obviously Van Dijk doesn't look the same as he did last season. Again, as you said, 63 games is a lot. It's not just physically; it's mentally. And you can see that the lads are a little bit leggy. So that's a thing I'm very concerned about, because now we're getting into games every 3 days.
Yeah, it's gonna be hell before the World Cup break. And I think the number of games we play, and all the competitions, and the Champions League draw, and also the first Carabao Cup matches coming in November, I think. So it'd be a lot of games in such a short period of time. I think it would be like 14 games, something like that, before the break. So I think most of our season will be, I don't want to say decided, but what we do now before the players go away for the World Cup is going to be important. It's going to be what does the difference between now and the end of the season, because we also play, our main rival in the Premier League, and this Champions League draw is really really fascinating from like an historical point of view because they are us with us included. There are three great clubs with such a rich history, and it's a great one. But if you think about football, it's really really tough. Ibrox away as well won't be an easy game to play because I think we don't have to explain why Ibrox away is a tough game. And Ajax as well is a weakened team. They lost some of their players this season, this summer window. But it's always tough because, as you said, um, Italian teams are like famous for their defensive setup. But I think also, Dutch teams are really really good. It's like um, from like a football perspective, the country because every team in Italy is, the first thing you learn is how to play well defensively, and the attacking side of the game comes after. And I think also, the Dutch football is also, has a really great importance in that regard. So I think it will be very, very tough, and we should never underestimate games we have to play in this Champions League group. And I think we we start getting some good results under our belt, and hopefully with a great result with the derby this weekend as well. And I think we 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 can have a good chance to come away with a great result and
Yeah, I think that's the key is get a run together, go on a winning run, get the confidence up. I mean, what better confidence than scoring in the 98th minute? You could see what it meant to the boys, and I just think with the addition and hopefully this lad today, and then we'll crack on. I mean, the good thing is Nunes will probably start next Wednesday because he's not going to start the derby. I don't think so.
I agree. No, because I don't think it's the time to take Bobby off because he has been in particular form the past few seasons, and now I feel like he's gathering some momentum, scoring some goals, feeling great mentally, as well as physically. And I think if you take him off against Everton to play Nunez, I think it will, kill him a bit mentally. So I wouldn't play Nunez in the derby, which is also a tough game, an intense game, and with his mentality and his intensity, I don't think it's the right game to play him. But I think he will play in the Champions League, as you said, and I think that's that will be one of our main threats because he has to do the job in the Champions League. I think that's why we bought Darwin because we had to have a big man who does the job against any team. And Napoli, as we said, has been one of those teams that hasn't been great for us to play against, and we never scored that. And Darwin is the kind of player that can get you out like of a bad situation when you can't get a goal, and you can sort that out for us. So as you said, I think Darwin will play in this Napoli, and at the weekend I will start Bobby.
I don't do predictions. I never have. I never will. It's just I just don't like him. I'm very superstitious. Do you? Are you going to do a prediction for the Napoli game?
Well, I'm not fond of predictions myself, but I have to say, with all the things we discussed so far, all the factors coming into this game, I don't think we easily win. I don't think any game is easy to win these days for us. But I think if we put our mind to it, if we go there with the right mentality, it will be. I think we can come away with a win, but it won't be like given to us easily. if I have to make a prediction, which is something I don't usually do, I would say maybe a 2-1 win. I think that's the kind of result that could happen on Wednesday. Yeah, 2-1 win.
I'll go with that. Nunes,
Yeah,
yeah, and coming away there with 3 points would be stellar. But you know, like you said, Napoli are tough. The Champions League's tough. We've got a tough group, but again, you know, if we want to get to Istanbul next May,
yeah,
you know, we gotta beat them, get out of this group, and see. Hopefully, have a good draw, and then you know, get number 7. Hopefully,
yeah. I hope so. I mean, we played Napoli when we won the sixth Champions League. I mean, our hopefully will be, the same as well. When we play them in the group, usually something will happen. So I hope, history continues like
yeah,
that.
me too. Well,
Yeah,
I really appreciate you coming on, spending. This
thank
this is
you.
probably the quickest episode I've done, because usually it's me and my co-host, and we'll just babble on and on and on, and then we'll just go, okay, there's got to be a cut off. But I appreciate you coming on, talking about Napoli and supporting our great team in Liverpool.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.